Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Jet Simmer, and welcome back to the AH-64D in DCS. But today we're going to be doing a quick little mission down to kill some tanks and trucks. But we're going to be doing it with Hellfires in the front today, and we're also going to be using Petrovich to fly the aircraft. Petrovich, I mean George. My bad. So we'll jump on in the aircraft. The aircraft's ready to go for jump on in. There we go. So we'll quickly set up our bore sight. For some reason, the bore sight has Alright. So we've got some targets just to the just down to the south of us here, or just behind us. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using George to fly the aircraft. But before we do that, let's get our weapons set up. So we'll just go to the weapon page. We'll make sure we're on missile. And we've got our lasers set. You also, before you want to take off, or before you get to the targets, if you're in the front seat, you want to make sure laser is turned on. By default, it would be off. So you want to make sure it's closed in, turned on. You want to make sure that the weapons that you're taking are closed in, or not. If they're like this, that means we don't have them, or they're just turned off. So you want to make sure they're turned on. Alrighty? Now we don't have the FCR. We'll turn that off, obviously, because we don't have that yet. So that is how you do that. The next thing you want to make sure is that you have all your codes set. So you have the primary code alpha and the other codes, so you have like all different channels as well. But I have mine set for primary, and is alpha, and alternate is bravo, and then Charlie and delta. To change these, you'll go to code. As you can see, LST is alpha, and LRFD is also alpha. But if you want to change those codes, if there's more than one helicopter, you come up to code, and you'll come down the list here. I'm going to go ahead and change mine to delta. Change my other LST by using set, down to delta, and then I'll hit code. But it's still on alpha, as you can see. So what we need to do is go to channel, and change channel 1 to delta. And I'm going to change channel 2, which is my secondary, to Foxtrot. So as you can see, now we're on delta, which is our primary list, and our secondary is Foxtrot. Now you would do this because you might have J-TAC in the area lasing for jets and stuff, or you might have more than one helicopter out there with you lasing different targets, and you don't want your missile being stolen by this. That's the reason why you do it. Right, so the next one is you want to be making sure that you're on 2 different types. I don't think RF works yet. So you want to make sure you're on cell. You've got mode set to normal, trajectory set to direct, train, I'm not 100% sure what train does, but it doesn't do anything yet. You have LRF D first. That is when the laser picks up the first reflection. So basically, first and last reflection of the laser. I'm not 100% sure what the meaning behind it is. It's something to do with having the vehicles behind a target, like trees or something. And so I have 2 lots of targets set up. One's behind some trees and some in front of some trees. So we'll see if we can get some trees on the outside. And then we have the acquisition fix. We're going to set that for tabs. Okay, so we're pretty much all set up here. We're going to tell George to take off now. So we'll go ahead and tell George to take off. So we're in hover bobber right now, which is hover. So all we need to do is go short up to increase altitude. So I'll increase altitude up to 40.
Copy. Increasing altitude.
And he does an amazing job. Probably one of the best I've ever seen.
Copy. Increasing altitude.
We'll get him up to about 150.
Copy. Increasing altitude.
Send him over to flight, which is short left, so FLT. Send him on the 40 to...
Copy. Speeding up.
Speeding up. We'll get him going
Copy.
to about 90.
Copy. Speeding up.
And we'll swing him around to the left, so about 180 degrees.
Coming left.
Now, if you don't have the... I'm going to bring him up to...
Copy. Speeding up.
250.
Copy. Slowing down. Copy. Increasing altitude.
If you don't have any of the keybinds, or you can get the keyboard offline, online somewhere, the kneeboard stuff. If you have here, target designation, so it will tell you all the roles that you need when he's in the front seat as well. So I found that the other day. So that's pretty good. That's when he is the when he's in the front seat, so you can use that. But in the back seat, it's pretty self-explanatory. You shouldn't have a problem. Right, so we're heading down to our targets, which will be roughly around here. So we're going to pull up just in front of us where this bunch of trees are. So the targets will be just over here somewhere. So we'll go ahead and slow the aircraft down.
Copy, slowing down.
And we're going to use the TADs. So we'll go to TAD. If you don't want this TAD screen in front of you, you can use it. But if you don't want it in front of you, or you don't want the one there, like behind, you can just use the one on your head. But we're just going to use the TV screen for now. So to do that, you would turn that off and turn your monitor on. Now there's a few things that you can do if you are using the TAD screen. Right, and you don't want it there, you just turn the level down and it's gone. Well, actually, there's another one where you can turn it down. Go to HUD, there we go. There was a way of turning it down. Yeah, no. I can't remember how it was, so we'll just do it the other way. So what we do is we go, bam, done. Alright, so we're going to pull up here. I think the targets are just dead ahead of us.
Copy, slowing down. Copy, that's the location. Coming right.
Alright, so the targets should be dead ahead of us right here. Have a look. Just out here somewhere. So, with the controls that you'll need for the front seat, have a look at that now. There is a few codes that you're going to need. So you're going to have to be on AH-64D pilot, CPG. So you want to be on the CPG. So on the throttle, two things you're going to need, well, there's quite a few things. You will need your store page, store update page. You'll need your TADs, field of view, medium, narrow, wide, zoom. Think of it as all the way in. A little bit in, or medium, and then you'll have TV for daytime flow and DVO, which I don't think works yet. You'll also need your gun, missile, rockets, and air-to-air. So your left-hand grip action switch, or was, your gun, air, missile, and rocket. You also need your left-hand grip pads sensor select and left-hand grip adds field of view, you'll also need your first and right D10 on right hand trigger. Okay, so for the LRFD, which is laser rangefinder, you'll need, well, you can also use weapon trigger, first and second D10, but you will also need your weapons card to fire the weapons. Now you can get around this by using other two, which is left hand trigger switch and right hand first D10. That's pretty much everything that you need to be able to fire them. Alright, so let's move on. So, thinking of that, and if you wanted to, you could have some these set up as well. Now, if you're not flying the helicopter, I would set these up. Obviously, I wouldn't be flying the helicopter at all in the back. So I'm actually going to go and show you where to set these up. So you need level and game. So I'm going to set these up in an axis. I'll go here, CPG, because you're not really flying the helicopter. You do take over sometimes, but when you come into landing. So you will need the left MPD, brightness, video control. So we'll put those right here. So we'll go, the video control will be the top one. And the brightness, the bottom one. Because you're going to be using these sliders quite a lot. Alright. Okay, so that's 9. Now we want the one in the middle. Go together. I think it's there it is. So the TDU. The gain knob. There we go. Right, there we go. Because you're always going to be using these throughout your... So when you're looking around, so we should have the targets just dead ahead here. We'll go ahead, zoom on in. And there's the trucks there, so we can only just zoom, so we're going to go level up, down. Let's use the TV so we can zoom in and see them a bit more. And let's look around. So we've got a couple of targets there. We do have some more targets on the far side of those bushes as well. So we might get a better angle with those in a minute. So first off, let's have a look. See, we got a couple of BMPs out the front. Obviously, we want to dispatch the BMPs first. So what we'll do is we'll acquisition fix for the... that's okay. So we've got our symbology. So if you're having a look, so let's go ahead and arm. So we've armed the Hellfires. Now we want to make sure that the Hellfires are got a box around them, which now they do. No, now they do. So you want to make sure that you're on the box. Now you have a couple of different things here. So the rockets are now got LS and DR. DR means it is already on Delta, so it's slave to the Delta code, and R means it is ready to fire. It's the next one ready, and that is also noted by the white flashing lights. Now, if you're on mono, I believe it's just a green one, and it's a bit hard to see. That's if you're at night time. During the day, that's all it is. So, having a look at the... If we zoom right in, you'll see on the front display here, we have the box going solid and dotted. When it is solid, it means it's within its limits to fire. Now, we come all the way to the left. We'll zoom out to the left. The square is now dotted, which means it's too far in constraints for the missile to fire. So the missile won't fire. Or it can fire, but it won't see the laser. There's a few things that can happen. So like even here, we also got your limit. So all you need to do with your limit is tell Mr. George to go and hover bob up, or tell him to go hover bob so you can hold, and we want him to slide to the right. So we'll just hold right short,
Slide right.
and he'll slide right forward.
Roger. Stop it.
Once he's sorted himself out, we'll drop it down to 100. Get some trees in front of us,
Roger.
and I'll show
Decreasing
you
altitude.
what we're going to do next. So we're going to find this BMP that we've got. Got a BMP right there. See him through the trees, and we're going to laze the target. So we'll zoom in on the BMP. So if we hit the laser rangefinder, in the bottom you'll see that we are 4,260 meters on the left of the screen. So we can also hit the laser. And two things have happened. So the laser icons have come up, which are the lines that are diagonal to our reticle, and the square has opened up to a big one, which means that the missile that's ready, slaved on the Delta laser, is tracking that laser. So all we need to do now is open up the weapon trigger guard if you're using that, and hold the fire button. And you'll see the box sort itself out for a bit while it's getting ready. And we have down the bottom right a trajectory of 3 seconds left. And good hit. That is 1 BMP down. So that is basically how you fire it. So we've got some other BMPs out there, so we have to get rid of them before we move any closer to the next ones. So again, we laze, and we'll get ready to fire. Make sure that it is cracking, which it is, and fire. Now we can fire a second one. They're both going to follow the same laser, so we're going to try and get that truck as well. So we'll wait for the first one to go in. 1 second. Bam. We'll move the laser ever so slightly to the left. And we got the truck as well. So that's how you can do two. So you just make sure that you laze, you set one off, maybe wait for a couple of seconds, and you set another one off. And if you can see over there, that's where we're looking straight through those trees to those targets. Let's see if we can find another BMP. Alright, so this will be a good spot to find another truck. So there's trucks and stuff over the top. So what we'll do is we'll creep up
Copy.
over the top.
Increasing altitude. Copy. Increasing altitude.
Alright, so we got a truck there. So what we're going to do with this one, well, you don't want to stay above the clouds for too long, technically. So you would go by, and it changes the symbology there. We want to change the attack page, the map to the attack page, and we want to target a few different targets. So we'll go here, laze, and then we're going to hit store 1. So it brings up target 1. So if we want to slave to the target 1, we come over here to coordinates, and we'll find out some symbology and all its information about the target, or we can hit TO1 and we can fire the weapon. But if we want to see where that target is, there it is. Okay? So we just hit the slave button to that target. But we don't want to look at that target. So let's move to another target. We've got a BMP just there. So we're going to go ahead and slave target. And we're going to have 2 targets. Let's find the third. Slave. Lock on. Target. Done. Right. So we've got 3 targets. Now let's get back down. Ground.
Roger. Decreasing altitude.
Now we're going to lose our targets through the trees there.
Copy. Increasing altitude.
Alrighty. But we want to do target 1. We want to slave it to target 1. And we want to zoom in and see if we can spot it. We can only just see the target. So what we're going to do here is we're going to fire our missile to our target trajectory. As you can see, acquisition TO1. We are DR, and then we're just going to fire the laser. Alrighty? So, ready? We're going to fire. Missiles in the air, 10 seconds. Fire the laser. One target destroyed. So let's do one that we can't see. Go there, target 2, slave. Can't see the target roughly, but it's through the trees there, we know it's there. You can see the wheels. Now fire. See the target through the trees. And we're targeting the laser. And another target destroyed. Again, let's find the other one. Probably a bit harder to see this time. Slave the target. Oh no, maybe not. Alright, so let's drop the aircraft a little bit more. See if we can get that one hidden.
Roger. Decreasing altitude.
See if we can get that one hidden a bit.
Roger. Decreasing altitude.
There we go.
Roger. Decreasing altitude.
Alrighty, so we'll fire. Blaze target. And target destroyed. Now the lasers seem to go through the trees. I don't know if that is actually how they're meant to, but yeah. So it looks like we've got all BMPs destroyed. So let's go up for Recon and we'll see about the other side.
Copy. Increasing altitude.
Sorry about that alarm, guys. I'll turn that off. Right, so now we're just going to do a quick recon. Make sure that we have got all the targets. There's a couple of trucks out there, but I want to make... The biggest thing I wanted to do was to make sure that we had turn the slave off. The biggest thing is I want to make sure that we had the BMPs down so we can move around to the far side. One truck there, so we'll go ahead and blow him up. So we'll do a low this time. Same thing again. So we're going to laze door, go over to our coordinates, pick up the target. We're going to fire. And waited a few seconds, laze. Lazing 6 seconds out. And there's a good hit. Good hit on another truck. Alright, so let's go ahead and find another. So we'll get on to flight. Gonna go up.
Copy. Speeding
And we're
up.
going to come around to the left. Now the other targets are on the other side of these trees over here. So we'll have a look as we're going along, so using the up front computer, the TDU, looking for targets as we go. So we can use the flare, so we can get some white action going. And obviously we want to change the gain. So that's why we've done it. Okay. We don't have any real targets in there. So all the other targets should be on the other side of those trees. Now those trees are very shrub-like. But what we can do is hover.
Copy, just hold one down.
Turn the aircraft back towards them.
Coming right. Coming right. Coming right.
And then we'll go to hover bob-up mode. Oops, I've went past it. Tell them to go up a bit.
Copy. Increasing altitude.
Just until we can see some vehicles. And then we'll do our target acquisition, so we'll go high. I just want to grab a couple of vehicles to see if I know what I'm doing as I explain it. Alright, so we're not high enough yet to see the targets. There is another target just
Copy.
there.
Increasing out. Copy. Increasing altitude.
That is not destroyed. No, he's destroyed. Very much destroyed.
Copy. Increasing altitude.
So basically, we want to lob. Now they're quite close, I believe, to the trees on the other side. So we want to lob the missiles to the far side of those trees without any problems arising.
Copy. Increasing altitude. Copy. Increasing altitude.
Bring us to 1,000 feet.
Copy. Increasing altitude.
Yeah. Probably put them too close, guys.
Copy. Increasing altitude.
There's definitely some vehicles out there on the other side of those trees.
Copy. Increasing altitude.
So just keep increasing the altitude until see them. Now, obviously, the higher we go, the more of a target we are for SAM sites and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, but we want to keep a low profile. Anything under 1,000 feet is pretty good.
Increasing altitude.
In realistic terms, anything under 1,000 feet is undetectable by radar. Radar can't track it as well. You got some trucks there yet? I think I've got them well hidden. They're definitely there though. But that's not it there. Ah, I think I see them.
Increasing altitude.
Out to the right here. Maybe. They're well hidden out there.
Copy. Increasing altitude.
Almost up to 2,000 feet now.
Copy. Copy. Increasing altitude.
Alright, we got one. So this will have to be it. I did have one. I knew they were there. So that's on the floor. So we'll go TV, and there you can see the BMP. So we know that the target's there now. Alrighty. So we've got our high done. We're going to go ahead and laze the target. So you'll see it's blocked by something eventually. But you just need to move the helicopter around. You're going to lock the target. It's T5. Coordinates locked at T5. We're going to lower the aircraft again. Get out of its range.
Roger. Decreasing altitude. Roger. Decreasing altitude.
I'm going to slave it to the BMP. Alright, so hopefully they can't see us now. They're trying to hide in the trees. That's okay. The trees are just there. They're trying to hide behind those trees. And we're not trying to be attached by those targets. Again, you're having a look at the little square there. It's blocked out. We're just going to have to come a little lower.
Roger. Decreasing altitude.
So we're within constraints here. That plays. Alright, so it's lasing. We know the target's there. We're on high. The missile is now picking up the laser. Right, so we'll fire. Missile's gone high. Let's slave to the target. Laze. No, the target's there somewhere. We're lasing, lasing. I think we missed our chance with the missile. We have 4 seconds in high, 1 second. And no go. One more. And that's one destroyed. So that's how you can shoot targets from the far side of the map. Obviously it wouldn't be this high, but that's just giving you an idea that you can lob missiles over the far side. Now to lob missiles, they have to be in the high trajectory. I have not done too many in the low, and direct is good for trucks, not so good for tanks. So if you want to, so there's two things that you can use the high for. You can lob them over the trees, or you can lob it up high so it comes down on top of the armor, because the direct is just going to hit the direct. Now, it's probably not going to do too much damage to front end armor, so you'll probably find that you may need to use like 1 or 2 to actually kill the armor using the direct method, but high method will literally obliterate the armor. But that just goes to show, if you know where the target is, or someone else is lasing the target for you, they can do that, and you'll fire a missile out, get out of dodge, and they can control the missile with the laser. It's the same principle for nearly most lasing situations, but that is a good rendition, and I finally found the targets of how to do it from a noob's perspective. I am no way affiliated with any helicopter training whatsoever. I've pretty much learnt how to fire the missiles all by myself. I really hope that helped everybody else. Sorry for that alarm again, guys. But I hope that helped everyone else, and in the next one, we'll see you then. Thank you very much, guys, and see you soon.